Hello, hello. This is the Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap episode 299. This is Rajyasree Sen.
And I'm Nainika.
And Nainika has been more dutiful than me and actually gone into the studio, but I'm old and getting on in years, so I can't move too much. My bones start rattling nowadays. But channeling the spirit of Abhinandan, neither Nainika nor I have watched everything.
Yeah, we've not watched anything in the theaters for sure this time. It's all OTT stuff. And that also, we weren't fully committed to the bit. So yeah, we miss Abhinandan, and clearly, we're reminiscing, so we're acting like him.
Exactly. So, but we have a very nice mix of things.
We do.
So we have two films, right?
Yes.
Whitney and Pinocchio, and Pinocchio won an Oscar also this time. We also have a really nice true crime series called Dancing on the Grave. And there's a new series called Dead Ringers with Rachel Weisz. After a long time, I've seen her on screen. And we have James Corden's penultimate episode, because he's going to have one final finale.
Yes. But this is just the segment. This is just the Carpool Karaoke segment that we watched.
Yeah. So Dead Ringers is a new show which is on Amazon right now.
Yes, it is.
And
it is based on not based on, there's a Cronenberg film of the same name, Dead Ringers. It was a film from 1988. And this series is like a loose adaptation with a few things switched up. And it's a very fresh take on the Cronenberg film. Did you like it? How much of it have you watched, Rajyasree?
I watched 3 episodes, but they are very long episodes. They are 1 hour episodes. Yeah. I started watching them yesterday. So basically, Rachel Weisz plays identical twins who are very well-known gynecologists in New York. And these two twins are Elliot and Beverly Manchester.
So one of them is like the nicer, more like she has her moral compass intact. The other one's more cynical. She's a little self-destructive. She's always on a cocktail of weird drugs. But they're both very accomplished gynecologists. And they have this plan that they've been working on for a while, that they want to start their own birthing center, their fertility clinic. And it's going to have a lab where they'll research, make designer babies. And they're looking for private funding to be able to, have fun with the process of research, but things go wrong because of their messy personal lives and how they're because they're identical twins, they keep doing this thing where they swap each other when they don't like a patient. So it's Rachel Weisz has been a delight to watch in this show. I've not finished the whole thing, so I'm very, very excited for it. What did you like about it?
So one is it's based on these actual twins who were in New York. They were men, of course.
Marcus twins.
And not women. So that's the difference. Yeah. And the film that was made on them starred Jeremy Irons, who anyway gives this feeling of something is not right.
He has a very intense, one of those fairy, faces where it's there's going to at some point he's going to ask for my soul. But I like interesting faces like that.
And there's something very attractive about Jeremy
He's
Irons.
A very attractive man, even though he looks insane, which is...
Yeah, but you just get a little...
Rajyasree, what's a man currently in the modern pop culture ecosystem who looks frightening but is still handsome?
In the current one, so younger bunch you're talking about, right? Who looks a little... Alexander Skarsgård.
I was literally going to take the same.
There's something you feel oh my God, he's so good looking, but something bad is going to happen with him.
All him and his siblings all look a little... He's very attractive, but all him and his siblings look just the littlest bit sociopathic. And their father also, Martin Skarsgård, I think.
No, he's one of the these things though. He's one of the family, that Skarsgård family is. There's also Peter Skarsgård,
yes,
who's in this film called, which you should watch, which everyone should watch, called The Education.
Okay.
An Education.
Okay.
And it is just brilliant. It was nominated for an Oscar around, I think, 7, 8 or 9 years back, but it's there on this thing, on one of the streaming platforms. But in this, I know what the end is. Okay. But I think I kept thinking her act, because there are lots of scenes.
That is true.
Pretty much, I would say 90% of the scenes are with both
That is true.
twins together.
And she's done like an extremely good job at, still like
So,
she's playing like both identical looking sisters, but she still manages to like differentiate between their personalities and, what their intonations and the little like tics that they have. Even then when they have scenes where they're supposed to be swapping identity, they're very good at playing each other, but you can still tell that she's preserved some of the tics to, still make you remember who the actual person there is, like which sister is the one that's being talked about.
And also, I felt the whole thing, that means she's had to do every scene twice, right?
Yes, that is insane.
No, so it's definitely worth a watch. It's
a little scary if you're not okay with like, because they're gynecologists, so there's obviously scenes of like birth and surgeries, and there's a lot of blood and gore. So if you can't stand that, you're probably not going to enjoy it. And the women are very like cynical, like they're not straightforward characters at all. So it makes for like a very interesting show to watch if you're into that sort of stuff, if you like the darker aspects of whatever, human psyche. That sounds very but you would, it's definitely enjoyable.
Aditya, our producer, has been kind enough to tell me that I've, as usual, given a little incorrect information, but what would an episode be
that
without
is true,
me
exactly. It's a little seasoning on top of the episode. At least I didn't
kill off anyone. But Peter Skarsgård is not related to Alexander Skarsgård, but could be. You never know. They might be distant cousins.
It's dark, but it's also funny. It's a lot of black humor. Like, don't assume that it's a depressing show. Like, you can find it's like amusing bits. It's slightly twisted, but 100% recommended. I was excited for it ever since I saw like the trailer for it. And Rachel Weisz has been like just this perfect, beautiful. I don't have words to describe her. I've loved her ever since I watched The Mummy, and I was really young when I watched it. So she's been delivering ever since. And the
fact that she married Daniel Craig and no one knew, or even dating, I was like, oh, very nice, very nice. But she's very nice looking,
she's
and
beautiful,
that comes through also. Also in the second episode, so you didn't watch the second one, right?
No.
So the second one, they go to spend a weekend or one day with the woman they are meeting for investment to the birthing center. And that is really over the top, dark, like, oh my God, this was how rich New York billionaires behave. And there's a woman who's like Gwyneth Paltrow. There's this man there's a Korean investor who doesn't speak in English. He has a translator with him all the time. Like, it's very, very tongue-in-cheek, black humor.
There's a lot of like stuff out, like with Succession and White Lotus, etc. There's a lot of like stuff that just casually looks at the private inner lives of rich people. And I find it quite interesting to look at, especially like the insane billionaires. Like even Beef, there's that Jordana character as like a billionaire, and she just has like an insane collection of masks and whatnot.
The best
I know,
part
right?
is
People
that,
are insane. Like money really does drive people insane, and it's not something I know about, so it's interesting to watch.
None of us know about it. That's why we watch these shows, to make say, oh, that's
to make
how
up the knowledge,
like,
for sure.
Yeah. But that Carpool Karaoke was actually a lot of fun.
That was actually one of the better segments. And I think that was the segment that actually, because I feel like otherwise the Late Late Show, I'm not sure whether it occupies the same like space in the conversation when it comes to like American late night shows, like whatever Stephen Colbert does or Trevor Noah or Jay Leno. That was still like a different like class of content. Like even John Oliver, who was actually, I thought, my favorite iteration.
No, but those are more commentaries on politics.
That is true, yes.
Pop culture.
But this show is also
one
like
is more
its
about
actual
celebrity.
segment is also supposed to be a little bit like satire and comedy, but he's never done like a very good job at it. He's not a very interesting performer, I guess, to watch. But I shouldn't comment like that. But I'm not a huge fan.
But I did like the Adele one. So if you like the singers who are on it, then you like that episode of Carpool Karaoke because it is fun and he sings well and they'll do duets and all that. So I remember there was one he did with One Direction. Then he did Stevie Wonder, which was really nice.
That was quite nice. Mariah Carey.
And Paul McCartney. He did a really nice one with Paul McCartney, which you always, I think when Paul McCartney is on a show, you keep comparing him to Indian superstars. At the end of the day, he's not just any Beatle. It was John and Paul, and
Yes.
sadly George and Ringo always got the short end of the stick, but it's Paul McCartney at the end of
Right.
the day. And he's so chilled out and down to earth that it's just
Beautiful
and
to
he's
watch.
still
Yeah.
sings well.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, so I really enjoyed this episode, other than at one point they got very weepy.
They
because,
did. I think both of them are like Adele and James Corden, otherwise also friends. And she's recently moved to LA
Yeah,
as of
yeah.
a few years ago. So she obviously thinks of him as a friend, which is insane. What do you think of Adele? Like, I mean, her music is excellent. I've always been a fan. But what do you think of Adele? I think she seems cool.
I know what do you think?
I think she seems cool.
Yeah. So I find her quite cool, but I think all of them are a little batty. You can't not be when you have that level of celebrity. It
That
would
is
be
true.
very odd if you were
Correct.
totally normal.
I think Adele
But
is like, she keeps her, like, it's a very, like, I mean, she has no social media and she comes out once in a while, releases an album and then disappears again, which I respect and I feel like that's fair when it comes to, like, doing the work. But yeah, I mean, in this particular episode, she seems like a cool person. She was like, oh, nobody can prank me.
No, and she sings so well.
She sings so
She
well.
just sings
What
so
a
well that
voice. I mean, blessed by the gods, indeed. She sounds like a dream. I always like, ever since, like, even, I mean, she came out with Chasing Pavements at 19. Like, imagine having that level of skill and talent and just, you know, oh my God. I mean, she's
and the
insanely
strength
good.
of her voice is just so. It was a fun episode, I felt, because they have this banter going, which you'll
That is
have
true.
if
Because
you're
they're friends
with
also,
someone
which is sweet. So I think like that adds to, you know, how comfortable
and they're
they are
both
with each
from
other.
England.
They are both from England,
She's
yes.
not American also. So I think that's the other thing. But it's worth now. Let's see what the finale is like. I'll watch the finale because I clearly have no life. So I'll watch the finale. We are going to discuss more of the topics that we have. But for that, you have to log on to the website. You have to subscribe to News Laundry, log on to the website, and then you can hear the entire episode, because what could be more thrilling than that? And even if you don't want to subscribe to News Laundry to listen to this podcast, there are a lot of other podcasts which are very interesting, and of course support free journalism. So we'll see you on the other side now.
Bye-bye.
The subscription model is something that keeps News Laundry afloat, but we need hundreds and thousands of people to completely transform the news ecosystem. So you pay for news, so it serves you. So click on the link with this video, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free, और गर्व से कहो मेरे खर्च पर आज़ाद है खबरें.